anything that can allow you to get your ideas down as quickly as possible. Certain programs I found to be a little overly complex, and things like Pro Tools. And it's just, I don't know, I feel with Ableton, it's very easy to get 3 or 4 loops together and just get a vibe together quickly and get an arrangement down and just work fast. But that's just me, you know. Other people work in Pro Tools super fast because they just know it inside out. I think there's something about Ableton that's intuitive, but also now that they've come out with that controller push, it's taken it onto a whole other level. It opens up all the plugins, all the MIDI sequencing becomes very kind of quick and fast, and the way that you can actually play chords, and it points you in the right direction, and you know, you can really get things down very, very, very quickly. I think that's the most important thing, really. Yes, right. I mean, I started on Cubase as well, and actually I didn't really like sitting in front of the computer in those days, so I quickly moved on to working off an MPC 3000, and I had the whole studio sort of linked to that, and I'd bounce stems into the computer and then edit them in the computer. I just loved working on that interface. So now with Ableton, Push, Machine Studio, they're my two. That's my studio now, basically those two things. We've still got a lot of analog gear as well. I don't think you've sold any of yours, have you? I've still got my Arts 8600 and my Moog Taurus bass pedal is my favourite thing ever, and I've got some things that I'll never sell, my 303 and stuff, but in terms of writing, it's just being able to sit in front of the Machine Studio or Ableton Push. It does feel like I'm going back to the MPC 3000 days, though, where that's becoming the
I still go back to Logic still, though. You know, I'm in between Ableton and Logic because when we wrote together, we was using Logic then. You know, so but Pro Tools, I did have a Pro Tools. I still got it at home. You know, but I never sort of got on well with it. For me, I just want quick, fast ideas. I think it's just my DJ head as well. I can't sit around too long tweaking things either. You know, I'm quite impatient with things, and I want things done because it's just the vibe. You know, you want to get things done quick.
It's important to get stuff done quick, otherwise you get sick of the music.
Well, in the old days, before Tractor and that, there was some amazing. You know, I'm not going to mention any names here, but there were some amazing producers that I look up to still. You know. And when it was on the vinyls and that, they just couldn't, and it was like proper bad mixes, you know, like train wrecks. But you know, they could still get by because they was making really good music. This day and age, it's not so bad because they can use
everyone can get
tractors or whatever, and it's all synced in. But at least they can get by and do that now. It's just so easier now to mix records together, like in the old days when we
used to stress over it.
When we were sort of like, you know, doing our mixes and, you know, 2 of the same tracks, no loop facility. That was my sort of thing. I'd just go back and forth cutting and scratching and stuff like that. You had to do that now. You just push the buttons, didn't you? Yeah. So but you know, the producers then, you know, they can DJ, vice versa, I suppose. I don't know about DJing and making music. I suppose it's a lot easier as well.
I think you have to these days. You know, I think to become a successful big name DJ, you've got to have the music to back you up.
But I think
and also to people, DJs that have been in it for years. You know, there's only so many gigs you can do in a weekend. Whereas if your music's being played out everywhere, you got to do everything you can these days because there is so much competition for gigs, for chart spaces, everything. I think you can do everything on your own, but I actually love working with I love bouncing off either one other person or 2 other people, and I think it's very quickly when you're in a room with 2 or 3 people, everyone assumes their roles quickly, and you work out what you're doing. You know, like I'm working with Dennis and Dave at the moment on the record, and you know, Dennis is mixing the record because he just, you know, he knows his studio inside out, and he's getting a great sound straight away.
And his ears must be better than yours as well.
Absolutely.
After all that pounding, because I'm the same with DJing. You know, with all these monitors over the years, I find it hard to sort of do a good mix down. With getting a good engineer for me as well, and I like bouncing off because if I didn't, I think I'd just be scrapping everything. You know, sometimes when I think I just get bored quick, you know, and I think, you know, having that patience when if you're with someone else, you just carry on a little bit more and get the thing done.
You can get stuck in a loop, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.